From a surprise collision in Russia that easily could have been avoided, and an out-of-control RV thief who decided to take his new ride off-roading, to an officer from Ohio who performed one of the worst pit maneuvers we've ever seen, and much more. Here are some of the most unbelievable moments caught on Dashcam. Stealing a car is one thing. Stealing a cop car is another. For 34-year-old Daniel Barton of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the old black and whites are his favorite thing to steal. As far as we can tell, he's the only guy in America who's been busted twice for jacking cop cars. His first arrest came on December 5th of 2022 as a Milwaukee officer was talking to another driver. Daniel snuck up behind the cop's car, hopped in the driver's seat, and took off. Watch how long it takes for the cop to realize someone just stole his cruiser.
Looks like somebody just stole my vehicle heading northbound. Okay, did you say your vehicle? It's from the vehicle 106 heading southbound on Holton Street. Lights are still on. We have GPS on that car? Yes, there's GPS on the car. I just said, what that spot number again? You said 106? Berline Richards, the guy's running westbound. Berline Richards, it's a white male, blue jacket, blue jeans.
Police chased Daniel into a neighborhood where somebody saw him hop into a large trash can. Unsure if he was armed, our officer approached with his weapon drawn. That's when Daniel popped out like Oscar the Grouch. He seems awfully smiley for a guy being held at gunpoint.
I've come up to the alley, so I was like, put your hands on your head! Put your hands behind your back. I don't have a case, so sorry.
Daniel was arrested and charged with stealing the officer's car, but that doesn't mean he learned his lesson. 6 months later, on May 30th of 2023, Daniel struck again during a traffic stop in Shorewood, a small village north of Milwaukee. This time, we get to see how the officer reacts when he learns that someone just stole his car.
And if I can give him a new... What? So your squad?
What the f***? Someone just stole my squad.
By the look on this officer's face, you can tell he knows he's in trouble. He knows he's in for an earful from the chief. He also knows his fellow officers will never let him live it down. Lucky for him, they caught up with Daniel once more and arrested him for stealing his second cop car in 6 months. According to reports, the squad car bandit faces a $10,000 fine and up to 9 months in jail for each theft. August 10th of 2024. Florida police officers are trying to get this maniac in a stolen SUV off the road. The driver allegedly threatened a woman with a hammer and then stole her car, leading to this high-octane chase through Miami-Dade County.
That's it. He's the same. One of the beach guys told me out. He's on the noise. It's going to go through, what is that, 79? I think that's 79.
As the story goes, 31-year-old Savalas Cigar approached a woman beside her parked SUV. He asked her for money, and when she claimed not to have any, Mr. Cigar pulled a hammer from his waistband and demanded that she hand over the keys. Little did he know, the driver's deaf brother was inside the car. He's lucky he escaped before Cigar took off. That's because this carjacker was about to go up in flames. Now let's see that pit once more from inside the officer's vehicle. We never see it, but the SUV began smoking when it rolled over. Police ran over and smashed the window, pulling Mr. Cigar to safety moments before the vehicle went up in flames. He was taken to a hospital and treated for injuries suffered during the crash. From there, he had a one-way ticket to county jail, where his bail was set at $11,000. Unfortunately, the SUV's owner didn't have theft insurance, so she was on the hook for buying a new car. Her friends and family started a GoFundMe, hoping the public could chip in and help. May 10th of 2023. Highway patrol officers in Pasco County, Florida are in hot pursuit of a white SUV fleeing southbound on I-75. They believe the men inside, Jakari Arnold and Devada Hines, both 36, are responsible for a string of car break-ins between Orlando and Tampa. The chase began when the SUV fled the scene of a traffic stop in Hillsborough County. Several agencies chased the suspects between Hillsborough, Orange, and Pasco counties before finally stopping them after an action-packed chase. Watch as the suspects narrowly avoid police spike strips and weave through traffic at over 100 miles per hour.
90 miles an hour. Outside lane 140. We got some congestion coming up. He's going in the middle lane right now. 100 miles an hour. 10-4 congestion, 100 miles an hour. Inside lane, you just switched to outside lane behind the orange Penske truck, 102. 102 miles an hour, orange Penske truck. Outside lane, 10 miles an hour, outside lane. 93 miles an hour, outside lane. Slow him down. 93 miles an hour, outside lane. Slow him down. Inside lane. 10 miles outside lane. 90 miles an hour, approaching Brooksville.
Past the exit ramp. He's taking the exit. Taking the exit.
The suspects pulled off I-75 and were now heading back toward Orlando. Little did they know, more cops were waiting ahead with spike strips ready to deploy.
We're going eastbound 50, eastbound 50.
Eastbound 0.
Approaching Bronson Road, speed are about 80.
Bronson Road, 80 miles an hour.
Go eastbound through the light at Bronson, approaching Parkland Avenue,
Parkland Avenue.
Approaching Kettering Road, speeds are over 100.
Heading road over 100.
Blue the red light at Kettering.
The red lights swing the advantage in our suspect's favor. Because police officers have to slow down, Jakari and Devada can pull away and eventually break sight lines. But their luck won't last much longer. One of their rear tires is slowly failing them. The damage allows our lead officer to catch up and position himself to pit the SUV.
Coming up in Trophy now, speeds 100. Traffic is still light.
Light traffic, that's Trophy, 100 miles an hour. Lost one rear tire, he went down the cruiser. Full southbound. Record tire, full southbound. Overturn, two overturn, starting that. The tire still southbound. Overturn, two overturn.
Officers swarmed the car and quickly arrested Jakari and Devada. Inside the vehicle, they found multiple purses, 15 Florida driver's licenses, a passport, and about 70 credit cards, all reported stolen between Tampa and Orlando. They were charged with burglary, possession of burglary tools, and fleeing.
Prospect, I'm behind it. No plate, looks like occupied once. We're on Prospect, still westbound. Let me have other units come from the other side. They lit up the whole place on fire. Have FB response, please.
He's already on the way.
It was May 8th of 2022, around 5:30 a.m. Police officers in Dearborn, Michigan were patrolling near the Dearborn Fresh supermarket on Colston Street when they spotted a large fire on the south side of the building. Typically, they'd think a wire fell or something accidentally set the grocery store ablaze. But this situation was far from typical. Somebody had already tried to light the building on fire, and that somebody was likely 28-year-old Marcus Flowers of Detroit. CCTV cameras outside Dearborn Fresh captured Marcus dousing the building in a flammable liquid on May 8th. He then struck a lighter, fled the scene, and hopped in his car to escape. Luckily, officers were driving by and watched his gray Buick peel out of the parking lot.
It's a Chevy Malibu, no plate.
Chevy Malibu, no plate. Do you have a color?
It's gonna be green color, and we're on Prospect right now. Going westbound on Prospect.
And then westbound through the yards. Stop now!
Westbound through the yards.
We're going to send the dog! Get on the ground!
In the end, Marcus was arrested and charged with fleeing and arson. It's unclear if he's the one who set the first fire, or if there's a gang of anti-grocery arsonists hiding in Dearborn, Michigan. Neither attack caused any permanent damage to the grocery store. The fire department quickly put them out, and Dearborn Fresh opened its doors to hungry customers later that morning. The Turner Turnpike spans 86 miles, connecting Tulsa and Oklahoma City, serving as a critical route for thousands of daily commuters. But on April 2nd of 2022, that familiar highway turned into a scene of chaos, brought to a standstill by a dangerous fugitive. A 32-year-old man named Charles had decided to make a run for it, leading police on a high-speed chase through Oklahoma City with his destination set for Ohio. He was already wanted for armed robbery and had no qualms about using his gun on law enforcement. State Trooper Brack Miller soon found himself in hot pursuit, but it quickly turned life-threatening as bullets flew his way.
Eastbound to Kilpatrick.
Eastbound to Kilpatrick.
City, shots fired. They shot one through the back window.
Despite the deadly situation, Trooper Miller stayed remarkably composed, even as Charles continued firing. He knew he had to end this chase fast. That's when he set his sights on executing a classic pit maneuver.
Ooh, that was ugly. So yeah, I've taken one round through the front windshield. He's still continuing to fire.
With bullets striking his windshield, Miller's steady nerves were on full display. Even with the damage visible, he remained laser-focused, even cracking a smile at one point. The chase finally reached its climax when Miller performed the pit maneuver, sending the suspect's SUV spinning out of control. Unfortunately, things took a deadly turn when Charles continued firing at officers. He ultimately lost his life in the ensuing confrontation. According to the Federal Highway Administration, or the FHWA, head-on collisions are responsible for 14% of all U.S. traffic fatalities each year. Many occur on high-speed roads where nothing separates traffic in opposite lanes. Take this clip from Russia, for example. All it took was one driver drifting about 1.5 feet to cause a near catastrophe. Pay attention to the red car ahead of our driver. They're hugging the line, but aren't technically over it. That's when a silver SUV drifts into the oncoming lane and smashes head-on into the red car. The windows shatter and the airbags deploy as our driver splits the gap. By some miracle, everyone walked away from this crash with their lives. According to reports, a 70-year-old man was driving the silver SUV. It's unclear if he was distracted or asleep at the wheel. A similar scene occurred in Sallisaw, Oklahoma on May 6th of 2023. Only this time, the head-on crash was intentional. It was the annual Diamond Days Festival in Sallisaw. Officers Weber and McGirt were working the event when a call came in about a hot pursuit heading their way. Weber and McGirt were the last line of defense. If they didn't stop him, he'd likely crash into the festival. Watch as they put their lives on the line to save countless others.
Charles, I'm gonna ram him if he makes it this far.
Back on. I'm fixing to take lead. I got lead.
I'm gonna shut it down.
Now let's watch that again from a nearby traffic camera. That's our officer's black SUV coming around the corner. They lock eyes with the suspect, who is speeding toward them in a white sedan. Weber hits the brakes right before impact to minimize the damage to their car. Luckily, both men were unharmed and were able to arrest the suspect. When asked about the crash, Weber said, "It's what we swear an oath to do, to serve and protect."
Hey, not even get my morning coffee yet.
It was May 16th of 2021. A sheriff's deputy in Marion County, Florida, was patrolling Highway 200 when he spotted a suspicious vehicle in a Walmart parking lot. The 23-year-old driver, David Johnson, was rolling around with unregistered temporary tags. The officer warned David to get the car registered before driving it again. Later that day, our deputy spotted the car as it passed him on the road. He pulled it over and asked to see David's ID again. After running the information, our deputy learned that David had given him a fake name and photo. Let's just say David didn't feel like sticking around after being confronted about the lie.
Light traffic and we're heading. Hold on. Going down Maryland's Pass.
Down there in the stuff. Light traffic.
Alright, looks like we is turning right on Southwest 79th here and signal forward. Back east, slow rolling.
Signal forward right on 79th here, still rolling.
We're still rolling.
Still rolling.
We're turning right on Southwest 177th Ave Road.
Check it up pit. He took off, homie.
This is 709 to go.
Call him, I got him.
Marion, we got one.
Hey, not even get my morning coffee yet.
I ain't either.
Young man, it's not even 8 o'clock yet, man.
Someone pull my belt.
Yeah, when we get gloves on, brother, this could have been an easy court date, man. Now you really going to jail. What, you got warrants or something?
Out of Ohio?
Out of Ohio? For what?
Aggravated arson.
What?
Upon searching David's car, sheriff's deputies found methamphetamine and other drug paraphernalia. They arrested and charged David with providing false ID, fleeing, and possession of a controlled substance. It's unclear what sort of punishments he faced regarding his arson warrants in Ohio. April 11th of 2018. Police in Delaware County, Ohio are in hot pursuit of an armed robbery suspect. According to the sheriff's office, 46-year-old Rudel Chapman had an outstanding warrant for an incident that occurred on March 28th. Multiple agencies spotted Chapman as he tried to evade police. Soon, the sheriff's department, local authorities, and the U.S. Marshals were on his tail. The chase brought them onto I-71, north of Columbus, where Chapman showed how little he cared for anyone else's safety.
All the way across, guys.
Chapman decided to ramp up the danger by taking his chase onto the wrong side of the highway. Our officers have no choice but to follow, knowing they have to end this chase ASAP.
Wrong way on 71. 31. He's gonna put mail. Wrong way on 71 at the 131. Supervisor, that we can take him out before we get too fast here.
A police SUV uses the emergency lane to get behind Chapman. He's about to make the single worst decision of his policing career. Pit maneuvers are an effective way to end high-speed chases. This was not one of those cases. This officer's horribly timed pit sent Chapman's car skidding into a civilian vehicle. Thankfully, the innocent driver survived the crash and was treated at a nearby hospital. Chapman also needed medical attention before being booked into county jail. As for the officer involved in this pit maneuver, it's unclear if he was held accountable. A report from the sheriff's office reads, "Another person was transported to the hospital for minor injuries sustained in a crash caused by Chapman's driving." The thing about running from police in a stolen RV is that you're slow, cumbersome, and easy to spot. None of that mattered to 25-year-old Randy Schiffbauer, who was simply going to steal the first vehicle he could break into. On June 2nd of 2021, police in Summit County, Ohio, received calls from several witnesses who saw Randy smashing windows and trying to steal cars. The only one with the keys inside was a Yellowstone Country Club RV. A sheriff's deputy arrived just as Randy was starting the engine. He used the RV to ram the officer's car and escape the area, but it wasn't long before the entire Summit County Sheriff's Department was on his tail. The well-placed spikes began deflating Randy's tires, but that wouldn't stop this madman. He set his sights on the highway, hoping to lose police on the open road. Our lead officer tried to stay ahead of Randy as the others surrounded him, but Randy's RV gives him a size advantage. He easily bullies the police cars and keeps them from boxing him in. Randy evades the police for several more minutes. The chase leaves the densely populated area and enters a suburban neighborhood. That's when Randy decides to put his new RV to the ultimate test. Let's see how well this thing handles off-road. Randy fled on foot, but didn't make it very far. A canine unit ran him down and sunk its teeth into the RV thief. In the end, he was arrested and charged with grand theft auto and assault on an officer. Police also learned that Randy had a habit of stealing slow, cumbersome vehicles. In 2019, he stole a bulldozer and crashed it into somebody's house. On August 3rd of 2024, a call came in about a domestic dispute in Muskegon County, Michigan. When this sheriff's deputy arrived, she found 35-year-old Courtney Morey crying in the middle of the road. She approached cautiously, not knowing what to expect.
Okay.
No matter what the they say.
He's saying that you assaulted him.
Yeah.
Do you have
I'm not in the right.
do you have any other family or anything? No?
They all fucked me up again. What are you gonna do? What am I gonna do?
You clear me from this.
I'm gonna go to jail. I'm gonna go loony bin again.
At 52.
Fortunately, you're going to be under arrest for assaulting him.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Screaming in my face and threatening me don't mean okay. You can
Okay.
assault me.
Our officer explains that verbal assault doesn't warrant an arrest. As you can imagine, Courtney didn't want to hear that. She kept making things harder for the police, leading to their own verbal altercation.
Do you have anything in your purse?
What shit?
Okay. Any weapons, anything?
No.
All right, I'm going to have to take a look at it real quick, okay? Okay, you
It's
can't.
dirty
You
as
can't.
fuck.
You can't.
What am I supposed to do with it? Leave it here on the side of the road?
I don't know. That's up to you.
What am I supposed to do with it? Shove it up my ass sideways?
They're going to toss it at the jail, so.
Well, whatever. I guess. Look at all my shit gets thrown away and I get again.
711, 712, establish.
Courtney has a bad habit of turning verbal altercations into physical ones. This time, she decided to show her teeth.
Put your hands behind your back.
Now you're gonna force me.
Yep. Put your hands behind your
Shit,
back.
wait. I will get in the car.
Courtney, put the bag down.
I'm not leaving my stuff. Not leaving my stuff.
Put the bag on the ground.
Not leaving my stuff.
I didn't
you
say
can't make me leave my stuff.
I'm not going to make you leave it.
Yeah, you are, you
Courtney,
You me too.
don't.
Get away
Put
from
it
me.
down.
Call somebody. Get somebody here. You ain't making me leave my stuff. Yeah,
Put your bag on the ground.
Why? So I can leave it? You're gonna make me lose my
11, call.
Make me lose more of my stuff.
Put your bag on the ground.
You're gonna make me lose more of my
6 for 11.
You're gonna f me too, huh, Copo? You or me?
Put it. Put
You're
it
gonna
on
make me
the
lose
ground.
more of my shit. This is my shit.
Put it on the ground.
My
15.
Get on the freaking ground.
my
6 for 15, we're only getting a clear. Are you clear on that?
Put your bag on the ground.
27.
Give me your hands.
15-19, I can be in Roxville.
No.
8-9, show you in around 2017.
Too. You just here to f me too. Huh? You f***ing me too? You're gonna f me too. You're gonna f me too?
You're on the ground.
I am, stupid ass.
Give me your hands.
I'm on the ground.
224 is on you. Hang up.
Give me your hands.
Why? So you can f me too? So I gotta leave my shit here and you're gonna f me too.
2017.
According to reports, Courtney allegedly bit our arresting officer during the struggle. Backup arrived and quickly got her under control. They placed her in handcuffs and sat her in the back of a state police squad car, where they expected her to stay. But Courtney had other ideas. She wiggled free while officers were talking to other people about what happened. She hopped into the driver's seat and sped off like the Joker in The Dark Knight. Unfortunately, the footage ends before we see Courtney get arrested. She eventually crashed on a dead-end street and was arrested moments later. Records show that she has a criminal history sheet dating back to 2008. Now, she could add grand theft auto and assaulting an officer to her growing list of charges. In the age of Uber and Lyft, it's incredible how some people still insist on driving after a long night of drinking. If 36-year-old Ryan Brown had simply called himself a ride, he wouldn't be sitting in county jail with a splitting headache and a criminal record. It was December 6th of 2016. A police officer in Norwood, Ohio, was running radar when Brown nearly sideswiped his cruiser at a red light. Police followed Brown, who crossed the center median and drove over the stop line at the next intersection. Our officer told dispatch he was stopping Brown's car for a suspected DUI, but when the light came on, Brown took off.
Just right now, diapers. Stand by right now, diapers.
Oh, shit. Back up, back up.
Trying to pull away right now. He's right through the middle of the yard here.
BP. He's right down. BP. Roll fire.
Brown lost consciousness when he crashed into the pole. Luckily, our officers were right there and could pull him from the burning car. When he came to, he learned he was being arrested for DUI and driving with a suspended license. Police also found 163 grams of marijuana inside the car, along with a digital scale. All Ryan had to do was call himself a ride. Now he's looking at several years in prison and permanent headaches for the rest of his life. September 10th of 2023, St. Francis County, Arkansas. State troopers are after two vehicles fleeing on I-40 at over 100 miles per hour. One of them is a white four-door sedan. They wanted to get these drivers off the road as quickly as possible. So, when State Trooper Thomas Hubbard saw his opportunity to pit the white sedan, he took it. let's see that again from the trailing officer's perspective.
He's out. He hit the wire. He's in the wire.
Have you ever messed up so badly at work that it made you sick? Well, these officers are about to have that feeling times 1,000. They may have gotten this car off the road. Unfortunately, it was the wrong car. Thankfully, the driver and passenger were unharmed and declined medical treatment at the scene. As for Trooper Hubbard, he retired shortly after while the department conducted an internal investigation. If you enjoyed this video and want to see another just like it, be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thanks for watching and be sure to tune in next time.